Well, it is Media Monday, and today we're looking at television and advertising. Our next guest says that TV will not, in fact, go the way of radio and newspapers. Benjamin Swinburne's an analyst at Morgan Stanley. Institutional investors rated him a top-ranked analyst for cable and for satellite. And you're going out on the limb to say it's actually really good to be a content provider right now.
Absolutely. I think if you look at television viewing trends, they've been growing since the mid-90s. We've had products like high definition, DVR, all driving us in the right direction. And if you're a content company owning compelling content, and I think of things like ESPN with sports, the big broadcasters, even CBS, NBC, you're seeing increased monetization of that content, and you're seeing increased advertising growth.
When you say increased monetization, what do you mean by that? Subscription rates or? Yeah,
I mean, if you look at the television revenue base today, it's made up of about 65% advertising, 35% subscription fees. That compares to 85-15 several years ago, and the subscription element is the one that's growing faster. So it's the change in the model that's actually good for stocks because it makes it a more predictable business, which usually get higher multiples from investors.
No, it seems that we're in an inflection point when it comes to mobile devices and how people consume or make purchases. How is that changing the landscape here, that third screen?
Sure. What we've seen so far is that in the vast majority of cases, this viewing is incremental. And that's really the important piece for investors to take away. It's not cannibalistic. Mm-hmm. And so when you look at mobile viewing, it represents less than 1% of total TV viewing today. And what it's doing is it's allowing shows to be built in different ways. If you think about Hulu, for example, a lot of broadcasters, I take Fox and Glee as a great example, they used Hulu to build an audience around that show, which they now can monetize on the Fox broadcast network and down the road in syndication in the reruns, for lack of a better term, market. And those rates have all continued to go up. It's important to remember there are 135 channels on average in the TV household in the United States today. That's double from 2000. Mm-hmm. All those networks need content. If you own that content, you're in a great place from a pricing power perspective.
Well, let's talk about some of that content. You called out ESPN there as having such a strong following. Time Warner's renegotiating its contract with its parent company, Disney. What's happening on that front?
Well, this contract renewal, which the contract today expires at the end of August, is one that you're going to hear a lot about. We're just starting to see the initial shouts across the public from Time Warner Cable, Disney. Both have websites up now trying to get the upper hand with consumers. But a lot's at stake here. Sports has, by far, the greatest pricing power in the market. And as a result, ESPN is already the most expensive network out there for distributors to pay for. But ESPN has invested at a 10% growth clip in sports rights since 2005. Now they want to monetize that content, and this is exclusive stuff. Monday Night Football, only on ESPN. Ratings have been going up. People don't DVR sports, so it's a great place to be. So I think Disney's going to do very well in these renegotiations. I think this will set the pricing for ESPN for all of their other deals. So by 2015, we expect all of Disney's carriage agreements for ESPN to renew at these higher rates.
What does this mean for consumers, for the prices that we pay, and whether they're actually going to be able to continue to watch what it is that they're subscribing to?
Well, I don't expect to see any of these big battles end up with programming off the air for any meaningful period of time. That's a bad result for everybody involved, obviously consumers. But realistically, I think consumers will see their bills continue to go up. Maybe not as quickly as they have in the past because there's more competition. You have satellite, telco. You also have some new providers like Netflix out there offering content, which puts some pressure on pricing. But generally, bills will continue to go up.
All right, Ben. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.